Okay, let's get started. So welcome everyone. It's Friday. I've been on the road, and I just got home from being in Venice. I've been traveling with my fiance and my son, and just taking some time off here, visiting my parents. And yeah, I had a really interesting experience at this hotel or hostel that we were staying in Venice, and the I guess the innkeeper was this incredibly cranky and frankly really inhospitable person. She was just really like every interaction with her was felt laborious and felt edgy and felt difficult, which is a really strange thing when you're in the hospitality business, right? It's like being in healthcare and having really terrible bedside manner. It happens. And for me, I realized it was, the theme that kept coming up for me as I was interacting with her, trying to figure things out in my terrible Italian, was this Aristotle quote. I don't know if this is something he actually said, but it's attributed to him. So this whole idea of know thyself, right? So knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Because I noticed that as I was interacting with her, there was this immediate snap judgment that my mind would make, even the way I just described her. She was cranky, she was inhospitable, and so forth. And then it took a little bit of time for me to actually get curious and wonder. I didn't have the language skills to be able to actually connect with her in this way, but I was trying to imagine to myself, well, I have no idea what's going on for her. Maybe there's some really intense stuff going on in her family. Maybe she grew up in Venice and really is bummed about all of the, millions of tourists like us that kind of flow through there. And maybe she feels a sense of helplessness or lack of agency of not knowing, could she leave and do something else? But clearly she wasn't enjoying this life that she was living, at least for the 48 hours that I was interacting with her. And then I was thinking, well, what are those situations like for me? When do I bump into these edges of my own, and am I aware of it? And do I know myself in that way? And to some extent, the more I practice this and the further along in my life that I get, I do feel like my ability to really truly understand myself compared to, let's say, 10, 15, 20 years ago has really dramatically grown, in part because of doing these kinds of meditations and these practices that we do. And so it's running into people and being able to read them a little bit. There's some people that sort of have this distant kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit scary. Don't really want to interact with this guy very much. Um, Definitely shrink away from this. I'm pretty conflict avoidant in general, although I'm learning how to do that more skillfully. And my tendency, especially when I interact with people like this, is is more this. I have more this melancholy tendency, or this tendency towards depression and feeling the weight of the world, or feeling overwhelmed, and yeah, sort of withdrawing within myself. And so it was really interesting to interact with this innkeeper and realize that I had no idea what was going on for her. I was just trying to imagine, to the extent that she was aware of her own experience or lack thereof, what it must be like for her to be in this situation where she's constantly interacting with people like myself, who are just trying to stay at this hostel that she's running, and how challenging that must be for her. So anyway, the theme for today's practice is know thyself. And let's spend a few minutes just exploring those parts of ourselves, especially when they get triggered by others. The fact that she triggered me in this way was a clear indicator for me that there was something really meaningful or interesting for me to explore within myself, because it actually affected me. I felt sad. I felt uncomfortable around her. So anyway, let's go ahead and explore some of our own edges with discomfort here, and see to what extent we can learn something new. So as always, let's start with our eyes closed. feet on the ground. Posture is something that I've been working on a lot lately too. So really, maybe taking an upright posture. The Buddhists sometimes talk about being a mountain when we meditate. Be like a mountain, meaning being upright, solid, firm, and able to receive whatever weather passes by without being overly affected by it. And then turning our gaze further and further inward, noticing any sensations in the belly and the chest. Breath coming and going. Maybe we can take a deep, couple deep intentional breaths together. So deep inhale, long exhale, letting go, letting things be as they are. So deep inhale, long exhale, just allowing the body to breathe on its own. And then bringing to mind a memory of someone who maybe fits the description that I just described to you. Someone where you just felt it's challenging to be around them. There's something about them, their energy, you felt a little edgy, uncomfortable. Once you have this memory, because all the things that we practice here is realizing it actually has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with how we perceive this person. The discomfort, the edginess is actually all on our end because it's somehow associated with something, a narrative of some sort that we have that leaves us feeling uncomfortable in some way. And just check in with that, that edge or that discomfort. And notice, where do you habitually go? Where does your energy go? Are you the person that's pointing the finger at them and getting upset, wanting to push your energy out? Are you more like me, where you kind of collapse inwards and feel overwhelmed? And just notice how this narrative or this projection on this person affects you. And bring some humility, some creativity to the equation. Get curious. What's going on there? What is it that this person represents, or what are they embodying that is difficult as you're reacting in the way that you're reacting? What does it say about what you value or care about when you notice them being rude or abrasive or inconsiderate, shallow? whatever the projections and judgments are, realize they're just reflections of certain values that are either being unmet or violated or somehow being challenged on your end. And the invitation is to use this moment or this experience as a to view it as a gift. And the gift is that it's reminding you of what's important to you. So when someone is shallow or curt, maybe it means that you value gentleness and respect. If someone's being angry or you're sensing some kind of violence coming your way, you really value peace and connection. And so it's really about the opportunity is just to turn this into something where you learn and connect with what's important to you. So what is that? Now suddenly we can see this interaction as a kind of gift that this person unwittingly or unknowingly is bestowing on us. And that is that they're reminding us that there are certain things that are really important to us. That's why it matters. That's why their behavior is triggering us in that way. So this interaction with them becomes a mechanism for going deeper into knowing ourselves. And go ahead and take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way slowly, letting it all be, letting it all go. Hold the exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale, long exhale. Again, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then open your eyes. Just come on back. Allow your body to breathe on its own. Yeah, I don't know what more I have to say to that. I hope, I guess, the takeaway for me was it was just a really good reminder that everything that happens is an opportunity for practice. And it really just has to do with, at least on my end, the degree of self-awareness that I can have in that moment to just kind of check myself and my narrative. And then there's gold on the other end of that pretty much every time. So it's really just a matter of having the wherewithal to stay engaged in that process. So anyway, hope that was helpful. I'll stick around for a few more. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I'll plan on seeing you on Monday, hopefully.